Totally. Okay. Welcome to my WOW Chats, words of wisdom with people I admire and respect and whose work is in line with making this world a better place. I have Jill Mueller.
Yay!
She's a pelvic floor physical therapist, an educator, just a mom. And overall great human being. Okay, here's your question. She doesn't know what it is. We were talking about burnout. Jill attended my self-care, what was it called? Healthcare practitioner retreat. It was about self-care, self-compassion. You started to talk about burnout and how what you do now is way different than what you would have done years ago, and some stuff that you maybe learned along the way.
Yeah.
So what has helped you with that, come from that, and what are you doing now, and what tips can you give other people to help maybe prevent burnout, or at least just mitigate it a little bit?
Yeah, so I think burnout is like really common. I noticed a definite shift when I went so I did orthopedics for 17 years before I went into pelvic health, or 15 years or something, I don't know, you lose track after that much time. And when I shifted over to pelvic health, I think because you are with somebody in their vulnerable space and they're trusting you and you're really wanting to help them, it's hard not to have that I'm a physio, fix it kind of mentality. And I find that was very emotionally challenging to me, and I hear it more. I hear pelvic physios now that I'm helping out with the courses, they talk about that burnout. And as moms, it's a lot of women, we're moms, so you're trying to juggle all this. You're trying to be at home with your kids, you're compassionate with them, a good wife, like there's so many rules we need to fulfill, for lack of a better word. So when I was on your course, I don't know, you talked a lot about compassion and self-compassion. I think when we hear compassion, we're like, yeah, I'm compassionate with my patients and my clients. That's not what the purpose was. The purpose was being compassionate with ourselves and letting go a lot of the expectations that we put on ourselves that we need to fix our clients. When we're in physio school and a lot of the post-grad courses we take, I think we have this idea we're learning all these tools that we use to fix. Tools are used to fix things, but that's not what it's about. We're more of a coach and a guide. And Carolyn said to me, Jill, stop trying to fix. And it just maybe after the 10th time of her telling me, it finally dawned on me, oh, okay. So it was through taking some motivational interviewing and some of those sort of learning to listen to the patient, that they will kind of tell you, we talked about this, they will kind of tell you ultimately what's going on if you really listen to them and what they need to get out of it. And so you're kind of a guide of putting all of these things together for them, reflecting on it, and then helping them, guiding them out of it. And it takes such a burden off of your shoulders. And I think just knowing that and recognizing that really helped me. But then implementing all the things we do show our clients, like the mindfulness and meditation and yoga and all things to downregulate our system, we need to do it to ourselves.
Yeah, that's that self-care piece. So yeah, what I'm hearing, and this is what you were alluding to a few days ago, we were kind of talking about this, is the combination of how we are showing up with our patients and the approach that we're taking, and the concept that we're the facilitator of recovery and not fixer, and also that and the self-care piece, which is kind of a buzzword. And
that's different. That changes. Like sometimes self-care means working out hardcore and going for a hardcore run. It doesn't always have to be so zen, but I think recognizing what you need when, and that interoceptive awareness is super important.
Yeah, and that's how I define it. And I'm going to leave a link to actually a really short blog that I wrote on what self-care means to me. And it's like gaining, and we've talked about this too, it's like gaining deeper insight into what we need at that moment, and then being able to respond to that, which might be asking for help, which might be giving ourselves space, which might be going to get some fresh air or movement or exercise or talking to a loved one or being still and quiet. Like, so it's more about really, you know, being in tune with what you need. And so, and then one more thing. So this was a couple days ago, we were talking about self-care, and you were saying that you didn't really know how that looked or what that meant. And it was something about running. You were talking about when you were running and how you didn't really know until, do you want to share that?
Yeah.
You had your own experience with
I did have my own experience with that, because I think as people who are athletic, you think, I can always go out and do my athletics. Running is my thing, or whatever, working out, doing CrossFit is my thing. But a big realization for me was I had a 10-year fertility journey, and I now notice, after many years, this isn't just 1 month that dawned on me, there were times where I could go for a run on the trails and I loved it and it was great and it was somewhat effortless. And there were other times when it felt like so cumbersome and difficult and struggling is the word. And I'm like, why is this good? And I'm like, what did I eat? I do all the things our patients do. Did I have a good sleep? Like all the physical things. And then it dawned, so I succumbed to it. I was like, fine, I'm gonna take out my earbuds and I'm gonna walk and I'm gonna be mindful. And I found that really, really therapeutic and helpful. And it was like, that's what my body needed at that time. And then I realized it was linked to my cycle in a sense that after I ovulated, maybe this is TMI if you're not.
She's pelvic floor piece.
After I ovulated, my body learned to be anxious before I got my period because it didn't know, am I pregnant, am I not? I'm not trying anymore, but it knew, so it was more anxious in that second half of my cycle. And so I had to honor that I needed more stillness to slow down and be okay with walking mindfully. It was the best walk I ever had, actually. And so I became okay with what my body needed. And I have to say, I've been able to progress in my running, because I'm training for a race, better when I didn't resist.
Just from that acceptance and allowing, and then you moved through it.
It was beautiful, actually. It was a big aha moment. So nothing is ever black and white. I think we really need to learn how to not resist what our body and our mind are telling us and kind of give in to what it, not in a like, I need to lie on the couch and be a couch potato all the time. That's not what I mean. I mean, just like honoring what our body and our minds mean. And that has given me longevity. That has given me peace of mind. And I think the burnout, like I feel so much better because of it.
Yeah, the awareness is the first step to change. You need to be aware first. And we will both say, I know you agree with me on this, is that we don't have it all figured out.
Nope.
And you do too, and I do. We go through stages where there's more symptoms of burnout and things, and we're all a work in progress. And I know you.
Yeah.
I just don't want to, portray the idea that, oh, look at us.
We have it all figured out.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure.
No, we don't.
But we have some insight and some wisdom. Yeah. And you just shared some amazing words of wisdom with everyone. So thank you. Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you for watching this WOW Chat with Jill Mueller. You can find out more about Jill and her work at jillmueller.ca and check out some of my other WOW Chats with other people that I admire, respect, and whose work is in line with making this world a better place.